Hello everybody. Today I'm going to talk about Sonic Boom for the Nintendo Wii U and 3DS, of which the Wii U version is actually powered by a later version of the very same engine you're seeing in action, the CryEngine. Now, this is one of the few games the CryEngine was used in, as CryEngine 1 was literally used in nothing but Far Cry and its various sequels, and the CryEngine 2 was used only for Crysis and maybe one or two other games that aren't really relevant. And the CryEngine 3 was used for Crysis 2 and 3, the 360 version of Crysis, and a few more games such as Sniper Ghost Warrior 2, and a few other games that I really don't even know about because they just weren't that popular or relevant. But long story short, Crysis is the game I'm showing here because even though this is a 2007 game, the game became a benchmark for years to come. And it's pretty easy to see why. For a 2007 game, this game has some impressive graphics along with a pretty smart artificial intelligence system, or AI, and of course, it's a pretty fun game to play too, especially if you're into shooter games due to its open gameplay and wide open maps. So, you would expect Sonic Boom to have half-decent graphics if it's being powered by the legendary CryEngine, the engine that made Crysis a well-known game. I mean, it's pretty big for a reason. I mean, this game became well-known because it had some amazing graphics. And of course it had some fun gameplay. Sonic Boom, on the other hand? Well, first problem right here is that the game still looks like, yeah, I don't know. I don't even know if it's even possible to buy the early beta excuse because the game's coming out in November. Now, I know this is going to sound a bit critical, but keep in mind this is running on the CryEngine, the same engine that was running that game you saw earlier. I mean, look at these textures, look at the lighting. And in the original screenshot, I don't know if it's compression or not, but good lord, there were jaggies everywhere. I mean, honestly, it just doesn't look that great, especially not when you're playing a video game. Especially when you've got jaggies, you've got iffy lighting, and then you remember that this is the same engine that drove the well-known PC game Crysis. I mean, look, these are some of the better screenshots too. I mean, I know this is a cartoony game, but look at these blurry textures. Look at the lighting. It just doesn't look eye-pleasing. I don't have anything against cartoony graphics. I have stuff against graphics that just are an assault on the eyes. But you see, the main problem with the game isn't that it's technically outdated. The main problem with this game, from what I've seen, is the gameplay just doesn't look to be something I can get excited over. You see, Sonic, anybody who's been in the know knows that Sonic has had an identity crisis for years. Sonic has gone from being a 2D platformer, which was fun, to a 3D. Actually, even in the 2D platformer thing, it changed several times. You had Chaotix, then you had Sonic 3D Blast, which turned Sonic into an isometric game. Then you had Sonic going into a primitive 3D platformer, as in an early one that hasn't really aged too well. You then had Sonic turning into you had three Sonic characters at once, just like Chaotix in Sonic Heroes. You had the one dark and edgy Sonic game, Shadow the Hedgehog. You then had Sonic 06, Total Disaster. You then had some other spin-offs, and of course Unleashed, which was kind of mediocre and only remembered for the daytime levels. And by the way, take a look at that water and compare it to the Sonic Boom earlier. Yeah. But anyways, you had Sonic Unleashed with its side-scrolling daytime levels, which had quick-time events, and then you had two more games with the same level format, including Colors with bad writing and a gimmick, and Sonic Generations with another gimmick, which was Classic Sonic, and of course, you know, throwbacks to old levels. Still didn't make the game good, though. But anyways, let's be honest. And then when you count Lost World in, the series has changed too many times to count. And you can have no idea what they're going to do with it other than the prediction that the game just isn't going to be that great. And you know, many of the people criticizing this game, because let's be honest, the gameplay style looks slow and beat 'em up-ish, just like the nighttime levels in Sonic Unleashed, which isn't really optimistic. When you have people saying that, then you realize these aren't just fans. These are people watching from the sidelines, hoping that Sonic might make a game worth something again. And guess what we're seeing? Games like Sonic 06, Sonic Lost World with its cast of Skylander reject enemies, and of course, all this is doing is giving Sonic the bad reputation it has and reinforcing it. When you've got games that are mediocre coming out year after year, people are going to look back and they're going to assume that Sonic is going to be that same game that it has its reputation for on the internet as being the joke of gaming. And you know what helps the inconsistency? The fact that the game has not only these beat 'em up adventure levels, but also these speed levels. You know what people think of when they see speed levels? Linear stuff and Sonic 06's speed levels. I mean, let's be honest here. It's hard to get hyped for a Sonic game when there has been so much crap that has come out for a long time. It's really hard to. And honestly, I really don't think that Sonic Boom will be a very good game on the Wii U. I mean, when you look at its generic-ish platformer gameplay, that does really nothing to stand out. And with graphics that really don't seem to impress despite running on the same engine that this game runs on, when you see stuff like that, it's hard to get impressed for it. And hyped. Because honestly, I'm not looking forward for this game anymore. Now, the 3DS version, on the other hand, looks more like a Sonic game. And I may wait before buying it in case I don't rent it at Family Video, because for all I know, it might be a half-decent platformer. I mean, it looks like it veers a little bit farther from the Sonic roots while not feeling like inconsistency like, you know, the 3D Sonic games have ever since Sonic 3D Blast. Yeah, I'm even going to include that because that's how much inconsistency there has been in the Sonic franchise. And let's not forget that some of the cringeworthy attempts at humor, which seem to be the polar opposite of the cringeworthy crawling in my skin Linkin Park type storylines you'd find in games such as Shadow the Hedgehog, it's no better. I mean, let's be honest. I wouldn't want to have either a Linkin Park-like story or a story with lines like Reen's Om Nom Nom or whatever. Because let's be honest, both are just as bad. I mean, let's be honest. I was playing Saints Row 3 earlier today because a friend wanted to, and I just noticed how many cringeworthy attempts at humor it had. Because let's be honest, memes and other random humor, funny things, those are not funny. But anyways, long story short, this game just isn't looking as interesting as when there was little to no gameplay shown, and now I can see why they were keeping the wraps on much of the gameplay for so long. It just doesn't look that great, and it looks like the Sonic cycle might be repeating itself yet again. And honestly, I could see where many people are coming from with their complaints and criticisms of the gameplay footage, because, let's be honest, it's not going to get better if people don't complain. I mean, just look at Sonic 4 Episode 1. That game had even worse physics at an infamous mine level until footage leaked and people complained, and they had to fix it. Think about it. I'd rather wait and see and hope they listen to feedback and maybe delay the game, even though it seems like they're not going to, because the game only has a few more months to launch. And the guy who did a playthrough of it, Game Explain, said he not only saw glitches, but he also saw frame rate issues. So yeah, it's really hard to get hyped when you realize the game only has like what? You only have like 4 or 5 months left to release, and they still have a bunch of bugs to work out. That's all I have to say about this is. And thanks for watching, subscribe for more. And yeah, honestly, I won't buy this game, and I really hope the developers listen to feedback, because listening to feedback makes better games. That is all.